Got it.
So just remember,
And then I'll just say, if you expect me to speak, you need to put your name and address on this list.
on this list.
Did you make a duplicate, or,
Yeah, I can just, you call me and I'll come and get this.
okay, all right, exactly.
But the
Well,
sheet
these
is
are
irrelevant.
our first four.
Correct.
That's what, this, all right. I want to welcome everybody to the December 13th meeting of the Common Council. I'm John McNamara from Ward 4, and we're going to start our public participation session now. I have 5 names and addresses signed up to speak, and I'll be calling you up in order. Remember that you need to state your name and address for the record and limit speaking to 3 minutes. And we'll start right about now. Jim Sanders, Jr.
Good evening, Jim Sanders Jr., 172 Kensington Ave. I come in peace tonight. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Alderwoman Barbosa, Alderman Hargraves, and Alderwoman McAdam for taking a tour of 600 East Street yesterday. This is the hard work and dedication it's going to take for people to understand our property. I'm here tonight to let you know that we had some positive meetings with the city, Jack Benjamin, even a nice sit-down with Justin Dorsey today. We're going to be moving forward with the Zoning Board of Appeals for our project. And I'm kind of here tonight to really focus on the first TOD in the east side. This development will have an enhancement piece. It'll complement the ongoing development in and around the east side and the city of New Britain in general. There's currently about 500 units being built as we speak within a 6-7 block radius, and those numbers don't include our lot across the street, City Yard, the silo demo sites, and also they don't include Aquinas, so we're guessing maybe 800 to 1,000. You've each been given a little packet just to give a background on our developer, a little history on the building, and some studies that have already been done through the city plan back in 2019. The information I'm providing in this booklet is to help you, help me get this project off the ground. We have an opportunity to work together to bring an inclusive and sensible TOD development while embracing the essential needs of our soon-to-be new neighbors. You might ask, as the council, what can you do for good old Jim Sanders? Well, most important, the ward alderman and Ward 2, what I need is I need you to talk to your constituents. I need you to see how they feel about the project. We need feedback, whether it's good or bad. We need to know where we stand with the residents. For the rest of you, we would ask your support in looking at the current needs in the city and advocating on our behalf, advocating with or collaborating with the Ward 2 alderman. And let's talk about what the development's about. You know, there's a piece of that building that's been there since 1896, a history known to many. And it's about developing this property for its best and highest use while protecting property rights at the same time. It's also about bringing new life to the east side, something the residents there have really been yearning for since the busway came to fruition. The development brings about a $4 million renovation. It brings a 700% increase in taxes from about currently $36,000 to about $275,000 with little strain on resources like education, police, fire, etc. It also is going to bring what I call a city-satisfied TOD development to 86 Woodland Street. That's our site. Our developer is willing to work directly with the city to build whatever they want, 55 and older, low income, etc. And it will also satisfy the nearly 1,000 new residents' storage needs, less than a mile radius. It makes good economic sense, and when we look at economic development, we need to embrace all aspects, including the ones we don't like to talk about, like storage. With that, I'll leave you alone till January. I'll come back. This is preemptive to get your support. Our meeting will be January 18th. With that, I'll say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, govern from the heart and with wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Frank Chase.
Frank Chase, 24 Roxbury Road. There are many new programs and ideas floating around on the horizon regarding stormwater drainage and sanitary systems, from the Environment Corps to the Stormwater Corps, from New Britain Flush to resilience plans, from rain gardens and retention ponds to permeable surfaces. It appears that New Britain has a functioning stormwater utility now, which is great. Meanwhile, our critical neighborhoods continue to flood. Through all of this, there is one constant factor, which is our fundamental right as taxpayers. Our city officials are mandated to keep us safe from circumstances within their control. Without fully functioning underground storm sewer systems, our critical neighborhoods will continue to flood, including mine. The storm sewer systems in my neighborhood are at crisis levels, according to our engineers. We have outdated and undersized systems with deteriorating clay mains. Yes, we are demanding immediate upgrades to the storm sewer systems in our critical neighborhoods, including Allen, Hampton, Eaton, Newbury, Roxbury, Overlook, and McKinley. We are forced to live with a clear and present danger hanging over our heads daily. As intense rainfall overwhelms our storm sewer systems, our water tables rise and the excessive groundwater infiltration increases the underground water pressure, which further endangers our foundations and structures. Additionally, CNG, underground residential gas infrastructure systems, were replaced recently on Hampton and Newbury. The on-site CNG supervisors indicated their equipment was compromised by water infiltration. More evidence that we have critical issues in our neighborhood. The city has funding sources to upgrade Allen, Hampton, Eaton, Overlook, and McKinley. Unfortunately, city officials have failed to allocate existing money, have failed to obtain new funding, and have prioritized available funds for other higher-profile projects. We have learned that the $7 million estimate for the Allen Street Phase 2 project is probably too low, now that 10 years have passed since the initial plan and estimate were drafted. Moriarty has engaged Cardinal Engineering to update their 10-year-old plan. When will this update be available for our review? Where is the plan and estimate for the Hampton-Eaton subsystem segment? It seems that this part of the plan is not on the drawing board yet. Why not? The budget process starts in January. Once again, we must press our case for our fair share of funding to upgrade our underground infrastructure. City money must be allocated along with grant money that may or may not materialize. We can easily use bonding for these projects. Where are the creative fiscal minds to help with this funding? We've been waiting for relief from this flooding for over 30 years. I remain hopeful but skeptical. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Chase. Next speaker is Negra Ali. Hey,
Hi,
Negra, name and address? and
Oh, Nazra
the floor
Ali,
is yours.
homeless at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember me, I was here a couple of Wednesdays ago and I had some serious issues. There's a big crisis with the homeless people, and I just want the people in here to recognize that it's some serious situation going on. I suffered in the month of November. Jumping from my car to the bus at 4 o'clock in the morning, to jump to a Dunkin' Donut, to drink some coffee, because my foot was frozen. The weather, I think somebody needs to keep in consideration. I was told that we have to go to the governor for that, but, you know, we are human as well. We should be treated with some respect and dignity. I feel going through this homelessness in New Britain was a good experience for me, and I do want to be an advocate, because there's a lot of people out there want to work. There's people that want to work, but it's the people that create the problems make it bad for the good people. But we shouldn't be penalized because of bad people. We need to recognize that there's elderly people sleeping on the sidewalk. I cry when I see that. That no elderly people should be sleeping on the sidewalk in a 23-degree temperature. Children with family, little children, is in shelters where they shouldn't be long, because you have all kinds of different people with different mental issues, drug addiction, and it's like teaching them. They're watching that. And these are children that has, they have knowledge, 12 years, 8 years, 7 years. We need to keep that in consideration as well, like maybe work something different so that the younger generation is exposed to that kind of living, because you see the repeatedly family history going through, and to me, it's a disturbance for me to watch that and to witness that. I hope that we all can work something together, have a meeting with the different organizations out there, with Hope Center, Friendship Center, CMHA, to take people's mental health seriously, because it's a serious issue. And I think being in the homeless, it puts you in a situation where you are way below, and your self-esteem is way below, and then you're getting treated horrible, and it's a never-ending thing. And I think the crime is up because of that as well. If you help some of the people out of the streets, pick up the elderly people. I get very angry when I see elderly people sleeping on the streets. I'm tired of hearing they don't want the help. Well, they're incompetent, they're doing stuff on themselves. That means some kind of incompetency going on there, and somebody should care. The caseworker, the case manager, whoever is running these organizations. My time is almost up. Merry Christmas, everyone, and I hope we could work together to come to a solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ali. Ashley McNeil. Ashley McNeil. Name and address, Ashley, and the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Ashley McNeil, and I'm currently homeless. I recently fell homeless almost a month ago, and I first initially started sleeping outside. I just want to express my experience as a homeless person currently. So my first week I slept outside. It was very, very cold, very brutal. By day 3 I got face burn. My feet and my hands were aching. And I didn't have any hope. I would say by day 5 I found the Friendship Center, and they directed me to the Hope Connection Center. I almost got turned away because it was the day before Thanksgiving, and they said they were understaffed and they couldn't have anyone come and have intake with me. So I got discouraged at that very moment, and I didn't know what was going to happen for me. Before that, before I got to the Hope Connection Center, I had a cart full of things, and my things became ransacked by some other homeless people. I had a laptop in there, had a Bible, some things to take care of myself, like nail clippers and tweezers. Thankfully, I didn't take any sentimental items that I have of my daughter, as I'm working to get back with her after I get back on my feet. I got to the Hope Connection Center, and they reluctantly gave me an intake. I thanked them because it did give me hope, but then I became hopeless again, because once I received the services, to be able to take a shower and wash my clothes, which I was not able to do in the first week because the staff didn't want to do that for me. They were getting ready for holiday. So I just took my own initiative, and I said, I'm just gonna, I kept continuing to sleep outside. I did my job search. I found me a job at Costco, and I'm still applying to other jobs so I can get more jobs, so I can at least hurry my process to get myself off the street. I was able to walk in and get services, and they gave me a cot on December 1st, and I've been receiving a cot since then. And I've experienced many more grievances in that experience as well. I've found a job, but I don't know where I'm going to put my belongings. So I'm probably going to go to Costco and hide my things in the bushes and hope no one steals it. And that's what I'm looking forward to right now. I have nothing else to say.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Don Naples.
Good evening, I'm Don Naples, Don Naples, 143 Fairway Drive, New Britain. It's nice to be standing on this side of the microphone. And I'm here just to thank the council and the mayor for reappointing me to the Mattabesset District. I was appointed as a fill-in, so I've only been serving on there for a little over a year, learning a lot. You probably know that New Britain is still the largest customer. 42% of the water treated there comes from New Britain, and the city pays for 42% of the operation. And as you heard a prior speaker mention, there's a lot of problems with stormwater and sanitary sewer that are running side by side when they're both 100 years old. And the most pressure is coming not from the sanitary sewer, but from the storm sewer. So we're treating a lot of rainwater. And so I also thank you for supporting Public Works to try and work this problem, which is huge. And the more I know about it, the more I realize how big it is. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Naples. All right, this is the sign-up sheet I was given, but I've been made aware that folks either came early or somebody came early to sign others up. It's important to have a part of the record, your name and address as best you can give it. So I'm going to send this back to here for folks who want to speak. Anybody in the room or online can speak. We'll give you all the time. So I'm asking the clerk to come and folks can sign up. Your name and address as best you can give it. Maybe we can form a line over here so we can hear from the first speaker who signed up.
You want to speak first?
Oh, I have to know the name. I'm sorry. Good idea, yeah. And maybe to expedite matters, people who want to speak can go in order as they come up, and you can sign it afterwards to keep the testimony going. But, here's my list, okay. All right, first three names are Tony Montez. Tony? Name and address, you got 3 minutes, and the floor is yours.
First of all, my name is Tony Montez. I live in Newington,
Address?
50 Victoria Gardens,
Thank you.
Victoria Way, Newington, Connecticut, 06111.
Thank you.
I just moved there 6 months ago. On top of that, I was here for 17 years, off and on, to take care of the people I care. And the people I care are homeless people. I was homeless for about a year and a half, I say, off and on, whatever. I don't care about that. I'm originally from West Hartford, and I know everybody. The bottom line is this: I want you guys to fix the problem. And I mean fix the problem right off the rip. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. You guys have houses. You guys go home. You guys do what you got to do to take care of your family. I was once rich. Rich. Not wealthy.
Tony,
Middle class.
can you stick to the mic?
You
Thanks.
can hear my voice.
I can now, but we're...
Okay,
we're
I'll do it right here. I don't
Thank you.
care.
Thank you.
The bottom line is, Arch Street is known for homeless people to sleep out there. I can't stand it. And I mean it, I can't stand it. When I first got divorced, I moved to New Britain for the fact of my mother and my sisters live here. They've lived here for 25 years. Where were you 25 years ago? Oh, speechless, huh? Well, guess what? I'm 57 years old. I'm not all that in bowl of cherries, but I'm out here to help the homeless. Can anybody else do it? And I did it with my own money. I didn't need funding. So what I mean is this. Do me a favor and fix the problem. That's it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Montez.
I mean it. I mean it. What I'm saying, I mean it.
Next speaker is Pablo Roman.
Hi, my name is Pablo Roman. The reason why I'm here is because I have a medical condition, I can't work, lost my apartment, now I'm homeless. And the last money I had, I bought a tent. And I put this tent by the highway, behind the post office, around there. And one day I was going to the tent to get some sleep. The police was there. They didn't let me go inside. I don't know for what reason, because that's my property. That was my tent that I bought in Walmart with the last money I had. And they took a knife, broke the tent. I took out my phone to record. One of them took my phone away. I asked for his badge number, his name. He didn't identify himself. So I left. Came back and I recorded a video of my tent in the floor, broken, ripped with a knife, and all my stuff too. I don't think that's fair, you know, because I asked them, can you let me grab my belongings, my tent? You know, I bought it with the little money I had. No, you can't go in there. Before I got arrested, I left because they threatened me of arresting me. And the reason why this man is here is because he's living in a tent too. And this is all over the media. My video too. I got a YouTube channel. And it's all over the media. The police breaking my tent. He's been living in this tent for 1.5 years with his wife. He applied for all types of benefits. Nothing. You know, I don't think that's right. You know, something needs to be done. And soon. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Pablo. Next speaker is Chloe Jessica Ferrara. Name, address?
Hi, I'm Chloe Jessica Ferreira. I'm currently homeless. I was living in an apartment for about 2 years. I got evicted. I had a really bad slumlord. I also had a domestic in my home. I called 211 for domestic help. Prudence Crandall, they weren't much help. I got ping-ponged from one place to another, New Haven, New Britain. This is our system. And then, so I finally gave up on it, and I ended up calling 211 again. They allowed me, Prudence Crandall took me out of the domestic. I left all my stuff back at the house. I would rather be safe and lose all my things than to have any trauma put towards my body. So I ended up sofa surfing for a while. I ended up in a cocaine home, a home where there was people using. For me, I'm a clean and sober person, so I stepped away from that situation and I lost my housing again. I went to the Hope Center, and that's where I found a bed. I've been homeless for about 3 days. Before that, I was technically homeless because I was bouncing. Some of the things that need to be fixed is that I overheard last night that someone got arrested for sleeping outside. If there's no places and no beds, like tonight, I was lucky to get a bed. But there are other people that don't get a bed. And if they don't have a bed, they're sleeping on the streets. There's nothing that we can do about it other than just hope that we're there early enough to get into the count. And that's the problem. There's too low of a count. We need more beds. We need more places for people to rest their heads. We're human beings. Like where I was living, I had roaches going into my hair. And so I chose to be in a shelter because it is cleaner for me, but it also is sad too because I don't have family. I'm from Romania. I was adopted. My family's way back in Romania. I came to the U.S. when I was 3 years old. I don't have family. So these homeless individuals that are here, they are my family. And so when they get treated disrespectfully, it hurts me too. I've only been with these people for like maybe a couple days, 3 days, but we look out for each other. We are a community. But we also need, like you, a place to rest our head, a place for medical care, a place for us to be able, for people like you to fight for us. Because like you, we also have minds and hearts. We also need to use a bathroom. Some of us have physical issues, we have mental issues, but that doesn't make us any less of a person. I would wish that people would work with our disabilities and look at them as abilities. If people worked more with our abilities and what we can do, and not our disabilities, and look at us as people with disabilities that we're not worth it because we have disabilities, then I think the world would be a better place. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Chloe. Next speaker, the next speaker is, I don't know if I'm saying this right, is it Abe?
Correct.
Nelson?
Correct. Get up there, Abe. Hey. Talk. Tell them how you feel. Let's talk.
Name and address as best you can, Abe, and you got 3 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I like that. My name's Abe Nelson. I'm currently homeless. The reason why I'm here is because New Britain is the place that gave me hope as a person, as an individual. I came here when I was 16 from Miami, Florida, and before New Britain, I felt like life was nothing. I felt like my life was nothing, if that makes sense. So I care less about my life. I could care less about yours. I felt like this before I was 16, if that makes sense. You know, I came to New Britain, and I got enrolled in New Britain High. Before New Britain High, I was told I couldn't go to any public schools. I wasn't allowed. You know, New Britain High, Coach Cochran, God bless that man. He looked at me, he said, you look like you could play football. I said, me, sir? Nobody gives me a chance. Not me. I don't get chances. He said, come on, man, come on. Took me to practice. This guy named John, I think his name was, told me I could wear his cleats. David Reed, you know, caught a pass over my head. Nate Daniels did a front flip in the end zone. This was like a dream to me. This is like a dream. Oh my God, this is a dream. I'm telling my family back home, oh my God, y'all won't believe what I'm doing. I met this guy named John Scully, the Iceman. John Scully, the Iceman. I had to catch 2 buses to see him. but I did it, you know, here from here in New Britain to Hartford, then from Hartford to Windsor, had to learn that. Again, place of opportunity. Kids used to always come tell me, you know, come on, let's go hang out at the reservoir, I'm like, what is that? You know, I'm from Miami, what's the reservoir? Come on, man, you'll have fun. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go boxing, I'm gonna go play football. I never got a chance to do that. I don't even get to play in woodshop, you know? First time, I'm having fun, I'm having so much fun. I told my mom, I said, my first report card, matter of fact, I called my mom, I said, hey, Ma. No, matter of fact, I showed it to the other kids in my class. They started laughing. They said, boy, I bring this home, I'm gonna get my butt whooped. I said, it's only one F. It's only one, you know? I showed it to my mom, took a picture, called my mom, hey, Ma, guess what? I got a B, I got a C, I got 2 D's and 1 F. She said, I told you you could do it, son. I said, man, it's a place of opportunity. Rent at that time was probably like $700, the most, $700. I knew families that was paying probably $550 at the time. Around the time of rent increase, I heard that the water at the reservoir was sold. The place that everybody hangs out at, everybody has fun at, I heard it was sold. When that happened, I saw prices start to go up. Right now, there's 16 beds at the Hope Center. They need 16 more. You know, stuff like that. I volunteered, well, I didn't volunteer, court ordered to go to the Salvation Army, no, Friendship Center and do the hot dogs. I was counting.
Hey, finish up your point, you're getting there.
And I ran out of hot dogs. It broke my heart because I was there not knowing what it was. I never understood what that was, and I'm counting my hot dogs on the plate. I ran out of hot dogs and it broke me. And now they're running out of beds, you know?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abe. Next speaker is Alanis Ashby.
Hello, my name is Alanis Ashby. My address is 100 Clinic Drive. I don't think we can ignore what New Britain is becoming. It seems like New Britain wants to push people of low income and with Section 8 out of the town. Who is going to be able to afford the $1,500 shoebox that New Britain is trying to sell with these new apartments? Do you think anyone here experiencing homelessness can afford the luxury apartments that New Britain is trying to sell? And I use the term luxury loosely. We've got landlords raising rents on apartments filled with black mold, a ceiling 2 seconds away from caving in, and rodent issues. These are the issues I'm currently dealing with at my apartment. What is being done to take care of this? Why are we adding luxury apartments in a city filled with homeless folks who definitely can't afford them? Why are there not more warming centers in a town with a large homeless population? I know you all see the people sleeping in bus shelters or near Price Right, just looking for any safe, warm place to stay. I'm noticing that signs are being posted to deter homeless people from literally just existing anywhere in this town. But nothing is actually being done to take care of these people who are also residents of New Britain, and it's really sad to see. So you know what? This is why I'm here fighting against the gentrification that is actively happening in New Britain. Thank you.
Thank you, Alanis. The next speaker is Mike R. I don't have the last name. Mike R.? Name and address, Mike. The floor is yours.
Hello, I'm Mike. I'm at 5 Talcott Forest Road, and I'm with Dare to Struggle Connecticut. We are here today to demand an end to the gentrification taking shape here in New Britain, as well as to demand an end to the neglect, criminalization, and dehumanization of homeless and poor people that has been intensified by this gentrification. The following demands are for the City of New Britain, the New Britain Police, the local businesses, and the shelters and hospitals. Shelter for everyone now. End the police repression and harassment of homeless people, stop the criminalization of poverty, stop the sweeps, stop the fines, and take down the signs. end the mistreatment, harassment, and dehumanization from local entities such as shelters, the hospital, and local businesses. Stop the gentrification, build the city up for the people already here. Bring back the benches and bring back the public bathrooms. And finally, end the rising rents and punish predatory landlords. We expect a plan to be made by the city to start addressing these demands by next Common Council meeting on January 10th. And to be clear, we don't want to hear about how this isn't practical or possible, or how these things take time. People are freezing to death out in the cold and sleeping in the streets, while tons of resources and millions are being used to make the downtown look pretty. The only housing being built are luxury apartments with studios starting at $1,600 per month. And landlords and real estate capitalists are raising people's rent like crazy, betting that the new developments and newly renovated downtown will attract wealthier people to start living in New Britain, who can afford the higher rents, in effect, kicking poor people out and making even more homeless. A sane society would prioritize the health and well-being of its citizens in any way it can. If this isn't possible, then it calls into question the legitimacy of the politicians and government in the city of New Britain, the state of Connecticut, and the United States, as well as their ability to take care of its people. If the economic and social system we live under limits how well we can take care of people because providing social services doesn't make money for some millionaire or billionaire, maybe we should be living under another system where things are produced to meet human needs rather than profit. And we don't want to hear anything about, well, we already have this program already, people are already being helped, because the presence of everyone here tonight proves otherwise, and our consistent contact with homeless and formerly homeless people says otherwise. We understand that some people might care and some people might be trying, but don't lie about what is obvious. What is being done right now isn't working and doesn't prevent any of the mistreatment. And we expect a plan by Wednesday, January 10th.
Thank you, Mike.
Let it be, Mike.
That's all the names I have. However, is there anybody else who wants to come up and speak? Anybody else? Name and address as best you can, 3 minutes.
Nell Srinath, 28 Devonshire Court, Avon, Connecticut. I initially didn't come here to say anything, but during our march preceding our attendance here, we ran into a man, Jose Morales, who was sleeping on the street, very emotional because he had just been kicked out of New Britain Hospital with a broken ankle and broken ribs. He showed us the swollen and bruised parts of his body that he had been discharged from the hospital with, and left on the street in sub-freezing temperatures to endure. And neither us as individuals nor the city's capacity as a municipality was capable of helping him. And in fact, he explained to us in great detail how many people, many nurses, many medical practitioners weren't interested in helping him. This is a veteran, someone with mental illness, someone with a history of cancer and other chronic illnesses being turned away by the city, being turned away by the agencies that are designed for care, not profit, but for care. And I just want to speak to his pain because with no other options, he told us to tell his story, how he had been turned away from New Britain Hospital, mistreated, and how his life was not prioritized over the income that the hospital can make. I was very personally alarmed by that and very moved by the neglect he seemed to have experienced. And so I want to speak for Jose Morales, who has been living here since 1959. He's a veteran. He has great pride in New Britain. Also shared the sentiments with other speakers today that this was once a place of hope, and then developers and gentrification, rising rents, and the general placement of revenue and profit over the well-being of the people who have always lived here and value this municipality more than a developer or a real estate company ever could. He explained that to us, and I would just like to reflect his sentiments today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody? Well, we have to wait for others, Tony. Okay, thank you. Anybody in the queue? One caller? No, no callers. All right, I'm going to call out anybody else wishing to speak. Anybody else? Good evening, sir. Name and address, and you have the floor.
My name is Claude Surais. I've been living here since 1966. I had my ups and downs, but then again, once in a while, I was homeless for a little bit. I ended up getting back on my own, but that's because I had help, family. People need help. I can't say anything else. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. All right, are there any other speakers? Any other? Tony, you get to one speaker per public participation, one time, okay? Any other speakers who haven't spoken? Any other speakers? Hearing none, I will bring the public participation to a close. And now I'd ask any council members who would like to make a comment on the testimony we just heard. Anybody would like to make a comment?
I would.
Sharon.
First of all, for those of you in the audience that are actually from New Britain and are experiencing homelessness, I'm very sorry for the certain situation that you find yourselves in now. I will say I spent a couple hours today in the Community Services office talking with Mallory Dupre and with Mary Floyd on what New Britain currently does, what the action plan is for folks who are homeless, and there are varying degrees of homelessness, which I'm learning about. People who actually are on the streets versus in the shelters versus who are hopping from bed to bed with their families. So for those of you from New Britain that are experiencing that, I truly am sorry. We do have a variety of services from not-for-profit agencies here in the city of New Britain. New Britain as a government is not in the social service industry as directly providing those services, but helping to facilitate those services is what we do through our community service office. I do want to say, maybe resent is not the appropriate word. I'm not sure what word I want to use for the person who came here from Avon and Farmington to chastise New Britain for what it is or is not doing, because I would suggest New Britain is doing a hell of a lot more for our population than what's happening in Avon and in Farmington. Homelessness also is a regional issue. The state and federal government hand out money based on cans, and New Britain's can. Southington, Berlin, Bristol, Plainville, New Britain, and I think I'm missing one that's in our can. The providers that help the homeless people asked at the state legislature this past session for $50 million to address the problems. A lot of the problems you all are talking about today. From that $50 million request, the state legislature gave $5 million. So when we're talking about who's prioritizing what needs of folks, what type of solutions we could come up with, and how we're going to pay for that, does not solely rest in the city of New Britain coffers. We are a not-for-profit, rich community, constantly seeking solutions to problems. You have significant problems. The city is not turning a blind eye to those problems. We're working towards solving those problems. I'm not sure there's ever going to be 100% solution to homelessness, because I don't think there's ever going to be enough money to take care of expanding the beds, having permanent beds versus temporary beds. It is a very complex issue that I am learning about. I am not pretending to be an expert in this field. I am not. I am learning, and I am willing to learn because of the woman who came in November and spoke to the council and talked about some hardships and some lack of services through the Hope Center over Thanksgiving. Your testimony made me interested in learning about homelessness, specifically in New Britain, but understanding that it is a regional issue. And we have to not just hold the city of New Britain responsible for coming up for solutions and funding, but the region. We are a regional partner with a variety of other suburban communities. And those communities and their legislators at the state capitol need to support funding through the Department of Housing and at the federal level, HUD, to help reduce homelessness and give more money to our not-for-profit providers to provide the services. The city of New Britain is not going to be a direct provider, but it will help facilitate solutions. But we need money from the state and from the federal government, and maybe the person from Avon and the person from Farmington can talk to their legislators to support the funding necessary to help the homeless problem in New Britain that you care so much about. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Decorum, please.
How's that?
Thank you,
Take the
Ms.
benches out
Saavedra.
and they-
Any,
sit on a chair.
any other counselors?
How much money does it take to remove the park benches downtown? That's
Sorry,
the problem. Don't see them addressing that.
They gotta sleep on the floor now because of the chairs.
Gentlemen, you're out of order. You had an opportunity to speak, you didn't.
Well, I mean, I hear that's bad.
No, this is the part where the council, all the people can respond to the testimony, and I'll have something to say about it once anybody else has spoken. Alderman Simpson.
May I add one more thing?
Everybody hear me? So I just want to commend everybody who had the time, availability, and courage to come out and speak their truth tonight. It is true that our suburban neighbors rely on New Britain a lot for our housing services and our nonprofits. It does overwhelm our systems. This is a regional issue, and for people who aren't from New Britain, definitely talk to your legislators. But the reality is that our nonprofit systems, our city government, our state government aren't doing enough. I am the chair of Planning, Zoning, and Housing for the city of New Britain, and anybody who's interested in contacting me, my cell phone is 860. I see people are getting their phones out, so I'll give you a second.
For what's this for?
To contact me personally,
For what?
to talk about housing and what we can do, because we're not doing enough.
Well, what I said was do it fast because
Sir,
people are
Tony.
suffering.
I hear you. I've lived in New Britain my whole life. I love
Well,
this
guess
town. When I was a kid, I can tell you, rent was, if you needed an affordable place to go in New Britain, or in the state, you went to New Britain.
Where
Now,
were you 17 years ago when I came here?
about 6 years old.
Okay, I was taking care of the homeless then.
I appreciate it.
Tony, public participation is over. We want to hear from the alderman respond to what you said.
Without the programs.
Thank you.
I hear you.
I want to speak out, that's why I want to say that, because I want you to know that I did my, I
Nate, do you have
to do it,
anything
but
more?
I did it because I care.
Yes, my contact info, 860-331-3552. You can also reach me at nathan.simpson@newbritainct.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Simpson. Any other alderman?
I care, man. I'm not fucking-
Alderwoman McAdam.
They're sitting there.
I'm not going to reiterate everything everybody else said, but you guys do need to go to legislative state levels. A lot of you have seen my face. I am out in the streets, feet to the street, working with the unhoused on a regular basis. So I've seen it firsthand, and I know. Pablo, I reached out to you. I gave you my information. I am here listening. We are listening, but we do have to go to state legislation. They have to give us funding as well in order for us to be able to run the programs that we can do in New Britain.
Thank you. Any other comments? Alderwoman Scott.
I hope I turned this on right. Okay. So I wanted to thank everybody for coming out. I think that this is really what community looks like, for it to be able to be, for people to be able to come out and share their concerns in the community. And I'm very new to this position, so I'm learning and I'm growing here. But I am very happy to see you, just not under the circumstances. My heart really breaks for people who not being treated as human beings, basically, because their human rights are not human right of shelter is a human right. And I, through door knocking and just talking to, I think I've spoken to some of you, that I have seen firsthand some of the conditions of some of the homes here. And as I believe Chloe's brought it up and someone else brought up about their apartments and the conditions. So I have seen those through door knocking and speaking with people, that is a concern, and that some of those concerns can actually lead to people being unhomed in our city. I do agree with what the other alder person said, that we do need to go to state level as well. There are 60% people here in New Britain that are renters, so I do have that concern, and I do think that you should reach out to Nate about that. And what else did I want to say? That I did, because I do know this is a concern, and there was grant money that was allocated to the city of New Britain. And I did put a petition in regarding that tonight, so that we can get some answers on allocating that money that's been here for 2 years. And we do have a crisis here with housing, so it's not going to solve the problem, but maybe it can help. So this is what you need to do. Keep coming out. We're here to hear your concerns. Continue to do that, build this relationship, and also reach out. You can look on the city web page. Our contact information is all on there. Please feel free to call me as well if you have any concerns. I'll give you my number if you want as well, but you can go on the website too, and all of our information is there. So please, it is your right to be able to come and have your voices heard. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any other alder persons? Alderman, I'm sorry. Alderman with the necktie, Santiago.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This hit me. I was 16 when I was homeless. This is something that never really explained it. I understand what that feels like, going into the cars that were empty so I could find somewhere to stay. Scrumming up, the streets. I know how that feels, man. I know the struggles. I know getting food the next day. I know the streets was my home for a moment. And I really appreciated some of my friends that was out there that kind of took me in for the moment. And don't blame my mom, because it wasn't my mom, it was me, right? I was, a bad little ass. You know what I mean? I was a bad kid. I was mischief. I ain't gonna say bad. We mischief. You know what I mean? So she couldn't handle me. I ran away. You know what I mean? Did what I had to do, and I got in trouble. Whatever. I'm sitting here. I'm telling you guys. I know how it feels. I know the struggles. I even to this day. I'm not rich. This tie I got it from Marketplace. You know what I mean? I know how to budget up a little bit, and because again, the way milk, eggs, everything is going. I got kids, I got family, I got to support, and that's the reason why I'm here. I'm here to fight for you guys. We're here to fight for you guys. You know what I mean? Not everybody here understands the levels.
Appreciate you.
But doesn't mean that they don't appreciate that you guys came out here and speak about yourselves. Right. It's courage to come out here and say this. You know what I mean? Right. To come out and say that you're homeless, or to come out and say you have problems and issues that you need some help. All right? We're going to go. I don't want excuses, because again, we could do a little better too. New Britain as a whole could do better. You know what I mean? Like you said before about the homes being built are luxury. They're not affordable, because affordable to them is New York style. New York a little one-bedroom apartment is $3,000.
I've
This
been
is
there.
this is New Britain.
I've been to
I'm from
New York. I lived
Jersey.
in New York.
I'm from Jersey, so I know how that is.
I lived in New York.
So I know.
I paid that much. Trust me.
Exactly, exactly. But this is not that. This is New Britain. New Britain should understand the level of people's employment, of what they could afford. Some people working 3 or 4 jobs, and I understand that. And I understand how you was talking about sports, bro. Sports what took me out a lot of it too.
I was
That's
a plumber
what
for 30
appreciate that.
years.
So I'm telling you right now, give us a chance. We're new. A lot of us are new. You know what I mean? Give us a chance. I know you gave us a deadline of January. We'll see. You'll see something come up, but it won't be a guaranteed solid solution. But we'll have something collective together to support you guys. All right?
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
You hear me?
Thank you, President Santiago. Alderwoman Barboza.
As somebody stated earlier, homeless comes in different forms. To the woman who's working, I have 2 grown children who live with me because they cannot afford to pay the rent for these luxury apartments. It's ridiculous. My children are products of New Britain. They can't afford, and they work, they have jobs, they have an education, but they don't want to leave New Britain, so guess who they're stuck with? They're stuck living under my roof. They're grown adults in their 30s. I'm raising my 7-year-old granddaughter, and she's sharing a bedroom with her mother because they cannot afford to live out on their own.
Thanks to you, right?
Thanks to me, exactly.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to me, they're not out on the streets, unfortunately, as some of you individuals. But you know what? If they didn't have me,
Tony, can you let the Alderwoman speak?
if they did not have me, they would be in the street. And this is what I would be dealing with. All I'm saying to you guys is do not give up. Do not give up on yourselves, because there's no one else to give up for but yourselves. You stand strong and you continue to come to the meetings and voice. Your voice is your power. You take it to the legislation. Do not give up this fight. We need to end this, and we need to end this fast. And we have the capability to do so. We choose not to. This is not a New Britain problem. This is a regional issue. But together we must fight, and we must all fight with legislation to help everyone in this city. Those that have apartments are struggling. They're getting evicted for no reason at all but the increase of rent. They can't even afford to buy their homes because they don't have enough money. But like I say, do not give up. Find someone and stick to that person. Allow that person to help you. Put your pride aside. It is very important to find someone who's going to uplift you. Never give up on yourselves.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman Barboza.
Thank you for that.
All right, I'm going to bring this to a close, hearing no more alderpersons who want to speak. I just want to briefly state that I have talked and met with the director of the Friendship Center and other folks who work on this issue in the city. And I want to thank everyone for bringing their personal story to focus on the issue. The data you can look at, and it's overwhelming, about a critical housing shortage, about rising rents, about the severe lack of resources for the support services we have. There are 9 new alder people, if my math is good. It's not that good, but I think I'm correct, who were elected in November. And you have a commitment that we will be assessing the issue and working, not just 9, but all 15 of us, to bring resources to bear on the problem. And with that, I'm going to bring this participation to a close. The regular meeting will begin shortly.
Gotta have something. On my own. On my own, and I'm still doing it. Still doing it. I don't have to do it, but I do it because I care. It's okay. I help these people. Yeah, I'm like, I do. I know Timothy. Stewart. When I came here in 2006, the first person I met was him. And he said, what a good man you are. Nope. And the majority of these people, where were they? Now, mind you, what's his name? Nathan? He's the same age as my daughter, my youngest daughter. She was born in 2002. I was always not rich like Trump. I was just middle class, coming from West Hartford. I got 3 kids, 35, 27, and 23. They're all successful because of me. Not because of their mother, because of me. Hear what I'm going to tell you. I have no joy. When I come back from Puerto Rico, I'm going to change people's lives. My father left me with a lot of money. He's well known around the world. Me too.
It's interesting all these years, John, that we've been involved with politics. It's the first time I've heard New Britain is gentrifying itself. We were always
Yes.
a blue-collar community.
Yeah, well,
We
it's-
still are, and it's,
You're not going to change the character of it.
No.
No, but,
cranes show up.
yeah, couple,
well, I tell you, homeowners identify with 26-year tax breaks.
No,
Yeah.
that's
That was unheard of.
Yep.
That is a valid thing. No, I mean, no one was living in a
I know that's, I was like, oh, wait.
If all alderpersons could make their way to their seats, we're going to get started. Thank you. I see, yeah, he's here. Sam is here. He's back there next to Delgadillo in the orange shirt. Do we know where Iris is? We'll just find Alderwoman Sanchez. I don't know where she went. I walked by her over that way, but. Why do you think I have that much power? That's the one, yeah, he's Sam's here, yeah. Find Iris. Here she is. All right. I would like to call to order this regular meeting of the New Britain Common Council. It is 8:15 p.m. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll? The date's December 13th, 2023.
Alderpersons McNamara.
Here.
Smedley.
Present.
Sanchez.
Here.
Benoit Saavedra.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Barbosa.
Here.
Hargraves.
Here.
McAdam.
Here.
Gibson. Scott. Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Present.
15 present, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Can we all please rise for the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, as we celebrate the holidays with our family, neighbors, and friends, we give thanks for the fond memories of Christmas and holidays past, of the loved ones that may no longer be with us. Protect those who keep New Britain safe, and to those who provide services for the less fortunate in our community. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You want to say? I'm just kidding. All right, Alderman Santiago, tonight we'll move into approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular meeting of October 25th, 2023.
Second.
I have a second by Alderwoman Sanchez. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there any amendments to the agenda tonight, Alderman?
No, Your Honor, no amendments.
All right. We'll move right into the petition section of the meeting, and Mr. Clerk, I see 9 of them.
Yes, Your Honor. Number 1, Alderman Santiago for the appropriate departments to conduct traffic study enforcement on Elam Street at the intersection of Pershing Avenue.
Send that to the Police Commission, please.
Okay, number 2, from Alderman Santiago for the appropriate departments to install city block watch designation signs in the area of 1600 to 1900 Corbin Avenue.
Police Commission as well.
Okay, a third one from Alderwoman Sanchez for the appropriate departments to install guardrails and other safety mechanisms at the corner of 252 North Street.
Thank you. We'll send that to the Public Works Department.
Okay, number 4, from Caliber Holdings LLC, DBA Caliber Collision Centers, seeks granting of a certificate of location approval to allow state DMV issuance of a motor vehicle repair license for property known as 57 St. Clair Avenue.
We're going to refer that to City Plan and also to the Zoning Committee.
Great. Number 5, from Alderwoman Scott for the appropriate departments to provide detailed information regarding the $2.2 million home ARP federal grant monies intended to help the homeless within the city.
So I'm gonna send that to the department, well, it could go to two places. I'm gonna send it to the Department of Planning and Development, because they're the ones that administered the RFP for the process for that money.
Okay. Number 6 is from Alderwoman Sanchez for the appropriate departments to provide the number of Spanish-speaking employees in each department.
I'll send that to the Human Resources Department.
Number 7 from Alderman McNamara for the appropriate departments to conduct traffic safety parking enforcement at the intersection of Jackson Street and Gladiola Street for installation of stop signs.
Police Commission.
Number 8, Alderman Hargraves for the appropriate departments to conduct traffic study in the area of Stanley Street and Church Street to determine if a crosswalk is necessary across Stanley Street.
The Police Commission as well.
And the last one from Alderman Santiago for the appropriate departments to provide information regarding rock climbing near Crescent Lake at city property, on city property.
We'll send that to the Utilities Department, the Water Department.
Thank you. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, we'll move into consent agenda. Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and consent agenda of item A, B, and C.
I have a second by Alderwoman Sanchez. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderpersons McNamara.
Aye.
Smedley.
Yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Beloin Saavedra.
Yes.
Simpson. Russell. Barbosa. Hargraves. McAdam. Gibson. Scott. Connors. Malinowski. Pabon. Santiago.
Yes.
15-0, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Item D, Alderwoman Barbosa.
I make a motion to accept item D and refer to the consolidated subcommittee. Second.
I have a second by Alderwoman Sanchez.
It's regarding the installation of speed bumps. It's regarding the installation of the review for installation of speed bumps on Roosevelt, Benson, and Fulton Street.
So the motion is to accept and refer to the consolidated subcommittee. It was seconded by Alderwoman Sanchez. Is there any discussion on that motion?
Your Honor?
Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
So I would think this would be a broader issue than just that one request, because if you open Pandora's, does it say, oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. If you say yes to one request, then we were talking that every alderman has an area of town where they think maybe a speed bump or something like that would be beneficial. So I would hope that the discussion would be broader than just this one location that you're looking at, and we talk about the policy around speed bumps and regulating traffic in a broader sense as well.
That is true. However, in the areas that I live in, there is an aerospace facility where employees rush in and out, and at the same time, during the school hours, the school buses are coming and the children are boarding and departing off of school buses. And it's for the protection of the children, especially with all the hit and runs that have been occurring around the city of New Britain lately. I urge referral.
When this does go to committee for conversation, you can have that larger conversation at whole. It can start off being centered around your area, but if you want to broaden that discussion, it's welcomed. It's the time to do it. Any other questions or comments on the referral? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And to our resolutions this evening, resolution number 1, we'll start again, Alderwoman Barbosa. Do you like to go by Barbosa or Barbosa Holly? Okay. Have to clarify that, okay.
My mom's last name raised me as a single mom, so she gets all the credit.
Okay.
He gets other types of credits, but we won't mention them. Let's see, I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 1.
I have a second by Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
To her honor, the mayor and the common council of the city of New Britain. Greetings to you during this bright time of year. May you experience the light of laughter, the warmth of love, and the joy of gratitude this season and beyond. The holidays are a joyous time. Indulge yourself in things that make you feel happy, relaxed, and stress-free. Enjoy the presents under the tree, the people who put them there, and the extra spark of gratitude the season brings. A silent night, a star above, a blessed gift of hope and love. Wishing you all blessings and joys of the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. The Common Council expresses its sincere wish for a holiday of peace, love, hope, joy, and happiness, and a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year to all the citizens of New Britain. I would like to say it in Spanish if possible.
Sure, go ahead.
Para el honor de la alcaldesa y el Consejo Municipal de la Ciudad de New Britain. Saludos durante esta brillante época del año. Queremos que la luz de la risa, la calidez del amor y la alegría de tu gratitud en esta temporada y en el futuro. Las fiestas son una época de alegría. Disfruta de las cosas que te hagan sentir feliz, relajado y libre de estrés. Disfruta de los regalos de abajo del árbol, de las personas que los colocaron allí y de la chispa extra de gratitud que te trae la temporada. Una noche silenciosa, una estrella arriba, un bendito regalo de esperanza y amor. Deseándoles todos las bendiciones y alegrías de las fiestas. Feliz Navidad, feliz Hanukkah y feliz Kwanzaa. El Consejo Municipal expresa su sincero deseo de un día navideño de paz, amor, esperanza, alegría y felicidad. Y un feliz, saludable y próspero año nuevo a todos los ciudadanos de New Britain.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 2, Alderman Santiago.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to appoint the members of the Manabasset to adopt an item number 2.
It would be a adopt, yeah.
Yeah.
Seconded by Alderman Simpson.
This is to appoint the members that are there now, just reappointing them to another term to the Manabasset District, in which we just heard before, they're like 40% of the cost that we're taking in from the brand, because it's a lot of shit.
I can't.
But no, it's the three members, Mary Morocco, Tony Lynn Collins, and Don Naples. Thank you for the 3 stepping up to do it again. Thank you. She's here right now, so Tony Lynn, appreciate it. I urge adoption.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding this? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to thank you guys for your service. Former Alderwoman, good to see you. Resolution number 3, Alderwoman Barbosa.
I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 3.
Seconded by Alderman Russell.
It's $36,168 to Jerick Brothers for the purchase of rifle and pistol ammunition for the city of New Britain, for the police department, and for daily duty.
Thank you. Alderwoman, are there any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 4.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 4.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Santiago.
This is an itemized list of tax abatements, corrections, and refunds from the tax collector or revenue collector, as well as a motor vehicle and assessor adjustment report, and I move adoption.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Smedley, item 5.
Thank you. I make a motion to accept item number 5 and refer it to the Committee on Administration, Finance, and Law.
Second.
I have a second by Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
Thank you. There will be further discussion at committee, but this will be to amend the Code of Ordinances to update the duties of the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the referral? It will be discussed in committee. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 6, Alderwoman McAdam.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to adopt item number 6, which is
I have a second by Alderman Santiago. You're good.
State of Connecticut Department of Public Health has notified New Britain Health Department of available $391,654 in workforce development funding as pass-through grants for Center Disease and Prevention. This is for a recruiting staff, and it's to be distributed November 23 to November 27. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Are there any questions or comments on this? Alderman Hargraves.
Thank you, Your Honor. As someone spoke in public participation, there is an issue maybe with landlords not keeping up with their properties, maybe with mold and other rodents, other issues that's happening. and there's a shortage of registered sanitarians in the state, so this program here would allow people to be trainees to become sanitarians, something we desperately need, not only in New Britain, but statewide. So this is an important program. I'm glad the Department of Public Health is putting this on to fund for this, and I do urge adoption. Thank you.
Thanks, Alderman Hargreaves. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman McAdam, number 7.
I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 7.
Second by Alderman Gibson.
This is funding for $366,080 to rescue from American Rescue Plan Act to support the study of blood levels in our children. I urge.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Malinowski, item 8.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 8.
Seconded by Alderman Smedley.
And this is for on-call engineering services for the Overlook Avenue drainage. And through you, Your Honor, I would like to call Director Moriarty up to ask a question.
Sure thing, Mr. Moriarty.
Good evening, sir. Can you just give us a basic overview of kind of what's going into this Overlook Avenue project?
Sure. I mean, it's been going on for a little bit, and I think I don't know if there's a perception that there isn't a lot happening on Overlook. There is a lot happening on Overlook. We actually had a public information meeting in City Hall just last night. We sent out 150 letters to all the residents in the project area to make sure that they could come to City Hall, see the plans. It was unfortunate, we only had about 12 people show up out of the 150 letters that we sent out. We're gonna send out more letters to make sure more people are involved and in the know. What we're doing is, while the flooding occurs on Overlook, the real problem right now is on McKinley. There's a 72-inch pipe, it takes a turner from Overlook, and it actually goes down to a 48-inch pipe pretty quickly. If you just look at the maps, which we presented last night, you don't need to be an engineer to see what the problem is. So we went through that. We're going to be placing about 850 feet of pipe that's undersized with a 4x8 box culvert. And fitting a 4x8 box culvert in a road is pretty significant. The construction, we are fortunate that we already had the CNG move the gas main last year, so they already relocated it. And where they're relocating it is where we're going to be able to place this 4x8 box culvert. It's going to actually be under a sidewalk on one side of the road. And what's good about that is that we can keep the existing drainage line in place to manage water while we're putting this new box culvert in. Because otherwise, if we did have rains, we'd have no place for the water to go. So we have a good project. The residents have been most vocal, like Nino DiPietro and some others that we've been in contact with since 2018. They were there last night. A lot of those we talked to regularly. Last weekend, when we had the potential for overnight flooding, made calls to some of them just to make sure they knew where we were watching the street. But the good thing about Overlook is, especially with Overlook, that one, it's a high intensity, short duration storm that usually makes Overlook flood, and the box culvert will be able to address that. There's always going to be a storm that probably can surpass anything that you could ever build, but the storms that typically cause Overlook to flood, the construction project we're doing next year is well suited for addressing that.
Thank you. And how long have you sort of been looking at the engineering and stuff for this?
We did 2 studies. We did a first initial engineering study on Overlook, and then we did more of a preliminary engineering report where we actually looked at, knowing the size of the pipes we needed to accommodate. We got survey and looked at how we can actually fit it and make it into a construction project. We were fortunate with putting the Clean Water Fund in place, and then Mayor Stewart putting in $2 million of ARPA funding. We were able to come up with the funding for Overlook, which is about a $3 million project. So we've had pretty constant motion on it. We did put grant applications in for the hazardous mitigation program. Haven't heard back, honestly. Put it in 2020, haven't heard back from that application. So we did come up with another means of funding it though. So we're also moving on Allen Street too, but I mean, the resolution is about Overlook.
And so shovels are going in the ground this spring?
The project will be out to bid in the spring, which we talked about last night, which we do have some concern about, is just that these large, the large box culverts and the structures that are junctions between the existing drainage system and the box culverts, they're just, with supply chain issues, there are, it is a significant, I'm a little bit worried about just the ability to get the materials quickly once a contractor is on board. So we're talking to United Concrete and seeing if we could do anything to make that, but it's hard because the contractor that wins the bid has to purchase these and give us a price for them. So it's hard to order culverts prior to having a contractor on board, but we're trying to make sure they at least know that, there's going to be this big order coming in so that hopefully they can get the materials quicker.
Thank you, Mr. Moriarty. That's all for me. Thank you. I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Malinowski. Are there any additional questions for Mr. Moriarty while he's here on this item? Thank you. Any other questions on this item in general? None? Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, resolution number 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move that we accept and adopt item number 9.
I have a second from Alderman Hargraves.
This is another DPW on-call engineering project to address the traffic design at South Street, at Rocky Hill Avenue, and Roosevelt Street. And the amount is $28,600. I move adoption.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item? This is just the engineering part, and then we'll get to the actual installation of the traffic signal once this comes back. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 10.
Thank you again, Your Honor. This is a resolution for a budget amendment. I'm sorry. Make a motion to accept and adopt item 10.
Seconded by Alderman Santiago.
This is from the Public Works Department, and this involves a relocation of railroad pedestrian crossing on Columbus Boulevard. It's a state project. This addresses access to the buses that have been on Columbus Boulevard and at the bus station. And this is needed because of the, I believe, change of ownership of the railroad track. And I urge adoption.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this? Alderman Simpson?
Am I allowed to call Mark Moriarty up for a question?
As long as I approve it, and I'll let you.
Thank you. Hi, Mark.
How you doing?
All right.
I've got 10 digits and I'm on both feet, so we're doing something right. I'm a frequent user of the CT Fast Track station. I have 2 questions. One, can you provide at least me or the other council folk with a visual of this project?
I mean, it's similar to the Ackerade crossing that's down by Columbus Commons, a little bit further down Columbus Boulevard. We're just doing a similar kind of crossing by the roundabout. So it's going to better link both the parking garage to CT Fast Track, but also link the buses on Columbus. So you have a shorter distance to get over to the CT Fast Track buses.
Thank you. That answered my second question,
Okay.
actually, was to address the commute time between, the CT Fast Track buses coming to the Fast Track station, but then there are blue buses on the other side of the fence. And just for folks here, it takes about 3.5 minutes to get from one to the other, but with this essentially a hole in pedestrian walkway in the fence, this will shorten that commute, meaning people don't need to sprint or run to catch their next bus. They leave within like a couple minutes of each other, so I love it. I urge adoption.
Thank you. Alderman Smedley?
Thank you, Your Honor. I also wanted to echo that it's going to lower the time for people to get around the fence or the railroad, but also it's been a goal of our TOD project to bridge the gap between our parking garages downtown and the busway, and this will do that as well, so people can park. I believe Alderman McNamara has done that before. He explained in leadership, parked in the garage and used the busway to get to and from work. So this will help bridge that gap as well.
Thank you.
Not anymore.
Thank you. I got to give my personal shout out. 3 Department of Transportation commissioners with the state of Connecticut have been involved in this ask. 3. I got to thank Commissioner Jim Redeker, Commissioner Joe Giulietti, and Commissioner Garrett Eucalito for finally getting this in place. That's how long we've been asking for it, so we're very appreciative. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next resolution, 11, Alderman Malinowski.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 11.
I have a second from Alderman Gibson.
And this is for the purchase of a 2023 Ford F-250 Super Cab truck with utility body in the amount of $81,569.80 for the Facilities and Energy Department, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Malinowski. Are there any questions or comments on this item? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Smedley, number 12.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 12.
Second by Alderman Santiago.
Thank you. This is also a cooperative purchasing resolution in the amount of $77,574.80 to Jengers Ford for the purchase of 2 2023 Ford Escape hybrids to replace 2 other existing vehicles, which are Ford Tauruses utilized by the Building and Health Department, and I do urge adoption.
Thank you.
And Mr. Plumley is here if anyone has any questions regarding the fleet.
Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding this item? Just so everybody, so we know, the funding for this was allocated in the previous budget cycle, so this isn't like new money. This is money that was allocated in the last budget that we're just spending now on the plan. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara, item 13.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept item number 13 and refer it to the Committee on Administration, Finance, and Law.
I have a second by Alderwoman McAdam.
Yeah, this involves the purchase of a new vehicle. Their old vehicle dates to 2001 for the Assessor's Office. It's proposed as a $38,700 purchase of a 2023 Ford Explorer for the assessors. I'm urging referral to the committee in the spirit of looking for a more energy efficient, less reliance on fossil fuel look at this particular purchase.
Okay.
Urge referral.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the referral, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Pabon, item number 14.
Thank you, Your Mayor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 14.
Second.
I have a second from Alderwoman Beloin Saavedra.
This is a purchase order to replace 8 new squad cars at a total of $521,374.88. There'll be 8 new police intrepiders, and each one of those were $65,171, and that's because of all the hardware that's got to go into those. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman Pabon. Any questions or comments on this? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Malinowski, item number 15.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 15.
I have a second from Alderman Gibson.
And this is another purchase for $15,685 to Freightliner of Hartford for 2 snowplows for the Public Works Department. And yeah, I urge adoption.
Thank you. Pretty straightforward. Any questions or comments? Alderwoman Barbosa.
Is this for additional or for replacement?
Replacement.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Malinowski, item 16.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 16.
Second by Alderman Santiago.
And this is for furnishing for the new Public Works Operations Center in the amount of $69,292 to Transfer Enterprises of Manchester, Connecticut. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments regarding this item? Just for clarification for everyone, it is cheaper by purchasing it this way. If you go through the contractor, you don't get the municipal price, so we're saving quite a pretty penny by doing it this way this evening, so I thank you all for your support for that. Alderwoman Barbosa, that's okay? Please.
Are they going to be ergonomically safe for the people who are going to be utilizing them? Because, you know, we want our
I hope so.
employees that work for the city of New
I
Britain.
think Mr. Delgadillo would be best to answer that. He's our facilities manager. He's also the project manager on this project, John.
Through you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Alderwoman. So most, these desks are flat, but we also have the rising desks for ergonomics and stuff like that. So we typically do that process as it's a lot more expensive to buy the desks that do all the fancy stuff. We just get the attachment above, and that makes it a little ergonomic for everybody else.
Oh, okay. No, because I work in the office all day, and ergonomics is number one. You got to keep our people safe.
Of course. No, but
Safe
luckily,
and healthy.
Public Works are mostly on the road, but we definitely have them with the right equipment to definitely suit their needs. Definitely a lot better than what they have now, that's for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Alderman McNamara, number 17.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item 17.
I have a second by Alderman Hargraves.
This is a $290,000 contract to BL Companies for, I think, final design services for the Arch Street Complete Streets Improvements, a state project, and I urge adoption.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this one? Oh, Alderwoman McAdam, sorry.
I just wanted to, I had heard the streets were getting narrowed, and I just wanted to hopefully keep in mind about buses, city buses, and fire trucks. I was a school bus driver, and they need that swing. So hopefully when we're narrowing them, we're keeping that in mind, because that would cause a lot of traffic issues and accidents if they're not. Thank you.
Heard. Okay. Just to set everybody's expectation on this, so we're doing the engineering for it now. Construction on this won't start until 2025 after the engineering portion has been completed. So there will be time for review of the final plans. So, the murals that we painted on the road there, that's to kind of prep it for the work that is to come, but the final engineering is not done yet, so that's what this is this evening. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman McNamara.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt accept and refer item number 18 to the Committee on Administration, Finance, and Law.
I have a second by Alderwoman Sanchez.
This being a change in a resolution, the Code of Ordinances, for its referral to the committee with new language with regard to an audit subcommittee in the AFL committee to clarify and clearly state the role of the council in the review and approval of the independent auditors. I urge referral.
Thank you, Alderman McNamara. Any questions or comments on this referral? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, I should have mentioned this before, just so everybody knows, we will have, the audit is due December 15th. We should have that document in January. Alderman Connors for the final resolution this evening.
Good evening, Your Honor. I rise
evening.
to make a motion to accept and refer item number 19 to the Consolidated Subcommittee.
Do I have a second? Second by Alderman Gibson.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution would provide that in the event a city-issued water meter is found defective, there shall be a grace period whereby the interest on the outstanding water bill would not accrue while pendency of repairs. This resolution deserves a close look and further discussion, which is why I make a motion to refer it to the Consolidated Committee for further discussion.
Thank you, Alderman Connors. Any questions or comments on this referral? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Wait, Alderwoman Sanchez wants a point of personal privilege this evening. Alderwoman.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to ask for a minute of silence in honor of the victims of Sandy Hook School. Tomorrow going to be the 11th anniversary, and I would like to say my respect and a lot of prayer for their families. They will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Of course. Can we all please stand up and have a moment of silence to remember them, please? Thank you. Thank you. Motion to adjourn made by Alderman Santiago, seconded by Alderman Malinowski. All those in favor, say aye. All right. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We're adjourned. The time is 8:48 p.m. Thank you.
2 for 2.